Well, why do we keep getting sick with the common cold year after year? That's the question that Duke researchers just got closer to figuring out.
WRAL health reporter Grace Haba explains the complicated mystery that's baffled scientists for years.
New research shows the answer comes down to the fact that the virus itself changes over time. That helps explain why so many of us keep making the same trips back to the same local pharmacy, looking for the same medicines for the same symptoms over and over again.
Tissues, rest, fluids, medicine, repeat. That's how most of us battle the common cold. But what's really going on inside our bodies?
So the virus that we're looking at in particular in this study is called 229E.
To find out, Duke researchers looked at one of the many viruses that causes cold symptoms.
It's a alpha coronavirus, which means that it's sort of a distant cousin of the virus that causes COVID-19.
Using newer technologies developed during the COVID-19 pandemic, Daniel Rapp and his team studied samples from patients sick with a cold. They found our immune system does fight back by making antibodies that latch onto the virus.
To use sort of the lock and key analogy, I guess the spike protein would be the key that the virus uses to get into our cells, and there are receptors on our cells that would act as sort of a lock. And these antibodies are blocking that key from getting into the lock.
The research found the problem is even though our bodies do learn to fight the infection, protection doesn't last.
You're trying to hit a moving target as this virus is constantly evolving. And eventually the virus will evolve to the point where these antibodies no longer recognize that mutated spike protein and you're susceptible to infection again.
While a cold for most of us is a nuisance, it can be severe for vulnerable groups.
In infants, you have to worry about the development of croup, which can be more serious. And in the elderly, oftentimes these infections can lead to more severe symptoms like pneumonia. So we're really interested in potentially protecting these more vulnerable populations.
Rapp says the next step for the team is to hopefully use this discovery to develop better therapies that target these viruses more effectively. Now, as for a day when we could walk into our local pharmacy and get a vaccine for the cold, just like we do for the flu, he says that could still be a ways away. Grace Haba, WRAL News.